When my husband lost his father, I held him through every breakdown. I paid for the funeral, managed the estate paperwork, even took on his mother's care. Last night, I overheard him on the phone saying, "I should have married Amanda. At least she doesn't make me feel trapped." When I walked in, he didn't flinch. He just said, "Now you know." I slept in the guest room. This morning, I opened the safe and found documents he never meant for me to see. When my husband's dad died last year, everything fell apart. Not just for him, for us, too. He was close to his dad, and the loss hit hard. I knew it would, but I didn't expect him to completely shut down. He didn't plan the funeral, didn't return calls, didn't handle the estate. He couldn't even write the obituary. I did everything. I used my savings to cover the funeral home deposit because the estate was tied up. I sat at the lawyer's office for hours getting the paperwork sorted. I made all the phone calls. I even picked out the flowers. He just sat there, mostly in the dark, most days, just staring out the window or lying in bed with the TV on. He barely spoke. When he did, it was about how nothing felt real anymore. I listened. I comforted him. I told him to take all the time he needed. Then his mom started forgetting things. First it was little stuff like where she put her glasses. Then it got worse. She got lost walking around her own block. She didn't recognize me one time. So I stepped in again. I made the doctor's appointments. I sorted out insurance. I brought her groceries, took over her bills, drove her to memory care assessments. I didn't resent it. I just thought this is what family does. This is what marriage is. Picking up the pieces when the other person can't. He thanked me once. Just once. Said, "I don't know what I'd do without you." I held on to that. But last night, I came home late from work. It was after 10. I'd stayed longer to cover for a coworker. I came in through the back, set my keys down quietly so I wouldn't wake him. I heard his voice before I saw him. He was in the kitchen on the phone. He said, "I should have married Amanda. At least she doesn't make me feel trapped." The way he said it, like he was talking about the weather. Not angry. Not emotional. Just matter of fact. I stood there for a second, frozen. Then I walked in. He saw me. Didn't hang up. Didn't say anything. Just looked at me and said, "Now you know." I didn't ask who Amanda was. I knew. She's his old friend from college. She's come up in stories before. I've met her once or twice. Polite, distant, always texting. I slept in the guest room. I didn't cry until the lights were off. I didn't even really cry. Just stared at the ceiling and let the silence fill me up. This morning, while he went on his usual walk, I opened the safe. We both know the code. We keep all the important stuff in there. Passports, birth certificates, property deeds. Only now there's more in there. Stuff I've never seen before. There's a revised will. Dated 6 months ago. Everything is left to his sister, his mother, and Amanda's son. I didn't even know Amanda had a son. There's a photo paper-clipped to the top of the folder. A boy. Maybe 9 or 10. There's a sticky note on it that just says, "He'll need this one day." There's also a trust. I had to read it twice to make sure I understood it. He moved part of our joint savings into a separate account and named Amanda as the trustee. Not me. Not even his mom. Amanda. No mention of me in anything. Not even a line. It's like I was written out of his life, while I was too busy holding it together for him. He came home about an hour ago. I was in the bathroom, washing my face. He didn't knock. Didn't ask where I'd been. He just walked past me and turned on the TV. ESPN highlights. Like it was any other Saturday. I haven't said anything yet. I don't even know where to begin. I thought maybe he'd say something today. Maybe explain. Maybe lie even. But he didn't. Instead, he asked me what we were doing for dinner. Like nothing had happened. I stared at him for a full 5 seconds before answering. I already ate. He just nodded and opened the fridge. That night, I sat on the edge of the bed in the guest room and looked up Amanda's name on Facebook. Her profile was private, but her cover photo was new. It was a picture of her and a boy. Same kid from the photo in the safe. They were at a baseball game. He was wearing a cap from our city's minor league team.
So he's here.
In town. Not back home, like my husband said last time he mentioned her. I went deeper. Checked old posts.
Comments.
Found one from my husband a few weeks ago under a photo of the kid holding a trophy. Proud of you, buddy. You've got heart. He used to say that to my nephew when he played soccer. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, I checked our joint account. I don't usually. He handles the bills. But I needed to know. And what I saw made my stomach drop. There were regular withdrawals. Every 2 weeks. Same amount. Labeled as tuition transfer. But we don't have kids. I clicked into the details. The money was going to a private school one I'd never heard of. I looked it up. It's less than 10 miles from here. Tuition, $11,000 a semester. I just stared at the screen. Then I went into the garage and stood there, staring at his car. I thought about taking a bat to it, just swinging and not stopping until I was exhausted. But I didn't. I just walked back inside, poured a glass of water, and sat in silence. That afternoon, I asked him if he wanted to go visit his mom. Her memory's been slipping again, and I wanted to see how much he'd lie to me. He said he couldn't. Said he had a thing. I asked, with Amanda? He froze. Just for a second. Then he said, "Don't do this." I laughed. Do what? Ask questions? Look around and finally see what the hell is going on.
He didn't respond.
Just grabbed his keys and left. 10 minutes later, I followed. He went straight to a small park on the east side of town. I parked a street over and watched from the car. Amanda pulled up in a silver SUV. The kid ran to him, hugged him like a father. My husband picked him up, carried him like he used to carry my nephew. I felt sick. Just completely hollowed out. He sat on a bench with Amanda. They talked. She laughed. He smiled. Not fake.
Real.
The kind of smile I haven't seen in years. He had a whole life. One he built right next to mine. And he never thought I'd look close enough to see it. I waited until he got home that night. He didn't say where he'd been and I didn't ask. I just sat at the dining table, laptop open, documents spread out in front of me. When he saw them, he stopped cold. "You went into the safe," he said. "I did," I said. "And I followed you today." He didn't move, didn't sit down, just stood there like he was calculating what would be the least damaging lie. "I don't owe you. Don't say that." I cut in. "Don't you dare say that after everything I've done for you, for your mother, for your family." His jaw clenched. "You were never going to be enough for me." He said it like it was truth. Not cruel, just flat. That's what broke me. Not the betrayal. Not the lies. The calm way he admitted it. He walked away. Went to the living room and turned on the TV again, like that conversation was done. I sat at the table another hour, staring at the open will. The next day, I went to the school. I wanted confirmation. The front desk receptionist gave me a funny look when I asked about tuition records, but when I told her I was the one making the payments and needed a copy for my accountant, she didn't push. There it was. The emergency contact. My husband's name. Relationship to student. Father. I walked out with a copy of the form and sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands went numb. He's not just playing house with Amanda. He's claiming her son. Later that week, I went to his mom's place to drop off groceries. She was having a good day, lucid, calm. We were sitting on the porch when she said, "You're a good woman. Better than he deserves." I paused. "What do you mean?" She looked down at her hands, then back at me. "He's like his father, that way. Never satisfied. Always chasing what's next, even when he's got enough." It hit me hard. She knew. Maybe not the full story, but enough. And she never said anything. Maybe because she thought I already knew. That night, I confronted him again. I asked about the boy. He didn't deny it. "He might be mine," he said. "We were on a break once, years ago. Amanda didn't tell me until after the funeral. She didn't want to mess things up." I laughed. "So you rewrote your will for a kid you're not even sure is yours?" He shrugged. "I felt responsible. But not for me?" I asked. Not after everything? He stared at me. You were never supposed to know. That was the closest he came to saying sorry. The thing about betrayal is, it doesn't come with a crash. Not always. Sometimes it lands quietly. A door left open. A name dropped too easily. A truth that doesn't bother hiding anymore. After that night, we barely spoke. I didn't move out.
Not yet.
I needed time. I needed to think. I started making copies, documents, screenshots, emails. I backed everything up onto a drive and locked it in my desk at work. I even took photos of the safe contents just in case. But the worst part wasn't the cheating, or the hidden kid, or the money. It was how fast he stopped pretending to care. One morning, I came down early and found him cooking breakfast. He had 2 plates out. I stood in the doorway for a second, thinking maybe, just maybe. Then I saw the text pop up on his phone. Hope he liked the brownies. He says you're the best. Amanda. I turned and walked out before he saw me. That night, I left a folder on the kitchen table. In it were the copies of his will, the tuition records, and a typed letter. I didn't threaten anything. I just told him what I knew and what I was willing to live with. He read it the next morning.
Didn't even look up at me.
I guess this means you're leaving, he said. I didn't answer. Later, I got a call from his sister. She asked me what was going on. I found the documents, I told her. The kid, the money, everything. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I warned him. Told him this would come back to bite him. I paused. You knew.
Not all of it, she said.
But enough. That broke me more than anything. They all knew, at least pieces. And no one told me. I was just the one who handled the mess while they kept secrets.
I didn't go home that night.
I drove around for hours, ended up parked outside a motel near the highway. I didn't check in. I just sat in my car until morning. When I came home, the kitchen was clean. The folder was gone. But the safe? It was empty. I stared at the empty safe for almost a full minute. No will. No trust documents. No birth certificates. Not even the photo of the boy.
Gone.
I went straight to our closet. The black duffel bag we always kept at the top shelf, the one we used for weekend trips, it was missing. A few of his shirts, his laptop, 1 pair of shoes. That's it. He didn't leave a note. I checked our accounts again. He had cleared out the joint savings. Every penny. He left $87 in checking. Just enough to keep it open. I stood in the living room, holding my phone, heart pounding like I'd run miles. He didn't even have the decency to say goodbye. Just vanished. I called his phone. Straight to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. Instead, I called his sister again.
He's gone, I said.
She didn't sound surprised. Amanda? I don't know. Maybe. There was a pause. Then she said, you should get tested. It took me a second to process what she meant. What? I asked flat. She lowered her voice. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but I know he wasn't just with Amanda. I felt the floor tilt under me. She kept talking. Before his dad died. He was meeting someone in Reno. I thought it was just drinking. Gambling, maybe. But there were rumors. A woman there too. Younger. Could have been something else. My hands went cold. I was shaking and didn't even realize it. After we hung up, I sat on the floor of the bedroom and stared at the carpet. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. Like someone had shut off the last light in the house. The next day, I filed a police report. Not because I thought he'd committed a crime, but to have a paper trail in case he tried to drag me into anything. Fraud, taxes, whatever else might come. The detective who took my report looked bored. She asked if there was a history of abuse. No, I said. Just betrayal.
She didn't write that down.
A week passed. No contact.
No clues.
Then I got a letter. Not from him. From Amanda.
Typed.
No return address. Just a note tucked inside. He's not here. He showed up, asked to stay a night, and left before morning. Took the money. I don't know where he went. Please don't come here.
No he para allí.
No details. Just that. I believed her. He was gone. And now I was standing in the ashes of a life I built alone. I still wake up expecting to hear him in the kitchen, scraping a chair back or pouring coffee. But it's just me now. And what I can't stop thinking about, what really keeps me up, is that for years, I thought we were healing. I didn't realize he was just getting better at leaving.